Gambling, once a casual pastime, has morphed into a pervasive force, its tendrils reaching deep into the fabric of American society. What was once confined to bustling casinos and smoky backrooms has insidiously infiltrated our homes through the digital gateway of online platforms. Behind the flashing lights and promises of fortune lies a dark truth, a hidden epidemic of gambling addiction that preys on the vulnerable, leaving shattered lives and broken families in its wake. This is the story of a nation grappling with the seductive allure of risk, where the pursuit of fortune often leads to devastating ruin. The face of gambling addiction is not always easily recognizable. It hides in the shadows, often masked by shame and secrecy. It could be your neighbor, your colleague, or even someone within your own family. The signs are subtle at first: preoccupation with gambling, increasing bets to chase losses, and a growing sense of restlessness when not gambling. As the addiction tightens its grip, individuals may resort to desperate measures, jeopardizing their finances, relationships, and even their freedom. This is not just a personal tragedy, it is a societal crisis. The costs of gambling addiction extend far beyond the individual, impacting families, communities, and the nation as a whole. From financial distress and bankruptcy to increased crime rates and a strain on social services, the ripple effects of this addiction are far-reaching and devastating. It is time to shed light on this hidden epidemic, to understand its root causes, and to provide support to those trapped in its clutches. Gambling, at its core, is a cunning deceiver. It preys on our innate desire for reward, hijacking the brain's pleasure pathways to create a powerful and addictive loop. The thrill of a win, no matter how small, triggers a surge of dopamine, the brain's feel-good chemical. This chemical rush reinforces the behavior, creating a craving for more. What starts as an innocent flutter can quickly escalate into an all-consuming obsession. The brain, bathed in dopamine, becomes wired to seek out the next gamble, the next potential win. Losses are not seen as setbacks, but rather as near misses, fueling the belief that the next bet will be the lucky one. This distorted perception of control is a hallmark of addiction, keeping individuals trapped in a vicious cycle of chasing losses and seeking that elusive win. The psychological underpinnings of gambling addiction are complex and multifaceted. For some, it provides an escape from the stresses and anxieties of everyday life. The act of gambling, with its inherent uncertainty and potential for reward, becomes a coping mechanism, a way to numb emotional pain or escape from reality. Others may be driven by a need for excitement, a desire to feel alive in the face of boredom or monotony. Regardless of the underlying reasons, the outcome is often the same: a loss of control, a descent into despair, and a feeling of being trapped in a web of their own making. Understanding the psychological mechanisms at play is crucial to breaking free from the seductive illusion of gambling and reclaiming one's life. Casinos, the glittering palaces of chance, are not merely places of entertainment. They are meticulously designed environments engineered to entice, seduce, and ultimately keep patrons gambling for as long as possible. Every detail, from the flashing lights and hypnotic sounds of slot machines to the free-flowing alcohol and absence of clocks, is carefully orchestrated to create an immersive experience that distorts perceptions of time and money. These temples of temptation employ an army of psychologists and behavioral experts who understand the intricacies of human psychology and exploit them for profit. They know that near misses, those agonizing moments when a win feels tantalizingly close, are more compelling than outright losses. They understand the power of variable reinforcement, where wins are dispensed randomly, keeping players hooked on the unpredictable possibility of striking it rich. Beyond the psychological manipulation, casinos often target individuals who are vulnerable to addiction, preying on their desperation and offering false promises of financial salvation. They entice patrons with loyalty programs and VIP perks, creating a sense of belonging and exclusivity that further binds them to the casino. The goal is to foster a sense of dependence, to make patrons feel like they need the casino more than the casino needs them. This deliberate exploitation of human vulnerability is a dark underbelly of the gambling industry, one that often goes unnoticed amidst the glitz and glamour. It is a reminder that behind the facade of entertainment lies a calculated business model that profits from the losses and despair of its patrons. While casinos have long held a monopoly on gambling, the digital revolution has ushered in a new era of accessibility and convenience. Online gambling. No longer confined to brick-and-mortar establishments, the allure of the bet is now just a click away. Available 24/7 on laptops, smartphones and tablets. This ease of access has opened the floodgates, exposing a wider population to the potential harms of gambling, particularly young people and those who might not otherwise have stepped foot in a casino. Online gambling platforms are virtual casinos, replicating the sights and sounds of their physical counterparts with stunning realism. But they are also insidious in their pervasiveness, infiltrating the privacy of our homes, our workplaces, and even our pockets. The constant bombardment of advertisements, promotional offers, and push notifications creates an environment of perpetual temptation, normalizing gambling behavior and blurring the lines between entertainment and addiction. The digital realm also provides a cloak of anonymity, allowing individuals to gamble in secrecy, hidden from the scrutiny of loved ones. This lack of accountability can be particularly dangerous for those struggling with addiction, enabling them to hide their behavior and spiral further into debt and despair. The digital abyss of online gambling, while offering convenience and entertainment, presents a significant threat to public health, demanding greater awareness, regulation, and consumer protection. Lives shattered. Personal stories of ruin and despair. Behind the statistics and the research findings lie the human stories, the real-life consequences of gambling addiction. John, a once successful businessman, lost his family, his home, and his life savings to online poker. Sarah, a single mother, stole from her employer to fuel her slot machine habit, ending up in jail and separated from her children. These are not isolated incidents, they are the everyday tragedies of gambling addiction playing out in homes and communities across America. The stories are as varied as the individuals themselves, but they often share a common thread. A slow and insidious descent into despair, marked by broken promises, strained relationships, and a profound sense of shame and regret. The financial ruin is often just the tip of the iceberg, masking deeper emotional and psychological scars that can linger long after the gambling has stopped. The ripple effects of gambling addiction extend far beyond the individual, impacting families, friendships, and communities. Children of addicted parents often grow up in households marked by instability, secrecy, and financial hardship. They may experience neglect, abuse, or witness domestic violence, leading to a range of emotional and behavioral problems. These personal stories are a stark reminder of the devastating human cost of gambling addiction, a cost that cannot be measured in dollars and cents alone. They underscore the urgency of addressing this public health crisis with compassion, understanding, and a commitment to providing effective treatment and support. Beyond the individual, the ripple effects of gambling addiction. The societal impact of gambling addiction is far-reaching, touching upon various facets of American life. Beyond the obvious financial ramifications, this crisis places a significant strain on public health resources, social services, and the criminal justice system. Understanding the broader consequences of this addiction is crucial to formulating effective prevention and intervention strategies. One of the most alarming consequences is the surge in gambling-related crimes. As individuals sink deeper into addiction, desperation often leads them down a dangerous path, committing theft, fraud, and embezzlement to fuel their habit or recoup losses. This rise in criminal activity not only impacts victims but also places a burden on law enforcement and the judicial system, diverting resources away from other pressing issues. The strain on public health services is equally concerning. Gambling addiction is often associated with co-occurring disorders such as depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and suicidal ideation. These individuals require specialized treatment and support, placing additional demands on an already stretched mental health system. The economic burden of providing these services falls on taxpayers, further highlighting the societal costs of this addiction. Beyond the tangible costs, gambling addiction erodes the social fabric of communities, fostering distrust, isolation, and a sense of hopelessness. It is a silent epidemic that preys on the vulnerable, leaving behind a trail of broken lives and shattered dreams. Recognizing the broader societal impact is essential to garnering public support for prevention, treatment, and recovery efforts. A crisis of numbers, unveiling the statistics of a silent scourge. The true extent of gambling addiction in America is often shrouded in secrecy, masked by shame and a reluctance to seek help. However, the statistics, though often underreported, paint a grim picture of a nation grappling with a silent public health crisis. According to the National Council on Problem Gambling, an estimated 2 million adults in the United States meet the criteria for severe gambling addiction, while an additional 4 to 6 million are considered problem gamblers. These numbers represent only the tip of the iceberg, as many individuals struggling with gambling addiction never seek treatment or acknowledge the problem. The financial consequences are staggering, with estimates suggesting that problem gamblers lose an average of $55,000 per year, contributing to billions of dollars in annual losses nationwide. This financial devastation often leads to bankruptcy, homelessness, and a reliance on public assistance programs. The human cost, however, is far greater than any monetary value. Gambling addiction is associated with a range of mental health issues, including depression, anxiety, substance abuse, and suicidal thoughts and behaviors. In fact, individuals with gambling problems are significantly more likely to attempt suicide compared to the general population, highlighting the severity of this often hidden crisis. These statistics underscore the urgent need for increased awareness, prevention efforts, and accessible treatment options. By shining a light on the true scope of gambling addiction, we can begin to break down the stigma surrounding this issue and create a more supportive environment for individuals and families seeking help. Breaking the cycle, a call for awareness, prevention, and support. Addressing the pervasive issue of gambling addiction requires a multifaceted approach that encompasses awareness, prevention, treatment, and support. It necessitates a societal shift that recognizes gambling addiction as a public health crisis, not a personal failing. Raising awareness is paramount. Educating the public, particularly young people, about the risks associated with gambling is crucial. This includes promoting responsible gambling habits, recognizing the signs of addiction, and understanding the deceptive nature of gambling products. Schools, communities, and healthcare providers all have a role to play in disseminating accurate information and challenging the glamorization of gambling often portrayed in the media. Prevention programs targeting at-risk individuals are essential. This includes providing support and resources to those struggling with mental health issues, substance abuse, or financial difficulties, as these factors can increase vulnerability to gambling addiction. Early intervention is key, as addressing problematic gambling behaviors before they escalate can prevent devastating consequences. Expanding access to affordable and evidence-based treatment options is critical. This includes increasing funding for gambling addiction treatment programs, training healthcare professionals to identify and address gambling disorders, and ensuring parity in insurance coverage for gambling addiction treatment. Support groups and self-help resources also play a vital role in recovery. providing a safe and supportive environment for individuals to share their experiences and receive encouragement from others who understand their struggles. Reclaiming lives towards a future free from gambling's grip. Breaking free from the grips of gambling addiction is a challenging but achievable journey. It requires courage, commitment, and a strong support system. The road to recovery is often long and arduous, but with the right resources and unwavering support, individuals can reclaim their lives and rebuild a brighter future. The first step is acknowledging the problem and seeking help. This can be a daunting task, often laden with shame and fear. However, recognizing the need for help is a sign of strength, not weakness. Reaching out to a trusted healthcare provider, therapist, or addiction specialist is crucial in initiating the recovery process. Treatment for gambling addiction typically involves a combination of therapy, medication, and support groups. Cognitive behavioral therapy, or CBT, is particularly effective in addressing the underlying thought patterns and behaviors that contribute to gambling addiction. Medications, such as antidepressants and mood stabilizers, may also be prescribed to manage co-occurring disorders like depression and anxiety. Support groups provide a safe and non-judgmental space for individuals to share their experiences, connect with others who understand their struggles, and receive encouragement and guidance on their recovery journey. Family therapy can also be beneficial in repairing damaged relationships and fostering a supportive home environment. Reclaiming one's life from gambling addiction is an ongoing process, requiring ongoing vigilance, self-care, and a commitment to maintaining a healthy lifestyle. It is a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and hope. By investing in prevention, treatment, and support, we can create a future where individuals and families are empowered to break free from the cycle of addiction and embrace a life of health, well-being, and fulfillment.